Hi, I'm Karen Collins. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Smart Bites. Today I'm here after having a very inspiring time with my colleague Sue Czap, who's a registered dietitian doing cooking classes.
We have our Cooking for Wellness program. It's intended for cancer patients, survivors, and their caregivers to come and learn in a hands-on format where they're actually preparing the foods and getting into the process and learning about a plant-based diet and the health benefits of a plant-based diet. We try to get them to try different ingredients, work with plant-based proteins. I find that people know they're supposed to eat them, but they don't know how to prepare them. So this kind of breaks down that barrier.
And you're making room for a lot of different ways of implementing a plant-based diet, right? As for many people use that term, and sometimes people use that term meaning a very strict vegan diet. Other people mean a vegetarian diet. Other people mean a diet that features and focuses mostly on plant foods, but is not necessarily avoiding animal products. And it seems like you're addressing kind of all of those aspects. Is that correct?
Yeah, I try to give the spectrum of a plant-based diet. We don't position the program as strictly vegetarian or vegan. It's really plant-based focused because that's evidence-based research. We don't cook with meat in the class because I'm more concerned about the risk of food sanitation and those kinds of issues. So we've made a conscious decision not to do that, but I also feel like that's not what people are looking for, because people know they should be eating the plant-based proteins, the legumes and lentils and soy and those kinds of things, but they're not familiar with how to prepare them. So I feel that not by doing the meat doesn't really distract from the program, because I think they get so much more about learning using some of the plant-based proteins. We use a variety of whole grains, and I really focus on seasonal fruits and vegetables. Where we are in Western New York, our growing season is really the summer and fall, and I shop at local farm markets to get all that produce in the summer and fall, and I really try to locally source things too. So a big focus on seasonal things and eating different things throughout the calendar year.
And probably most of what's lacking or what's been missing in that well-rounded eating approach for people, whether or not they choose to eat animal proteins, is that they just don't know how to do, or what would you do with beans, or pulses of any kind, or using nuts and seeds as anything other than a snack in front of the TV. That kind of stuff is...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, our menus even change with the seasons. In the winter, we do a lot more bean-based soups. We do different lentil soups. Minestrone soup we've done Moroccan chickpea soup. And in the summertime, we take those legumes and turn them into more summer weather dishes. We do a lot more salads and those kinds of things. So even learning, yes, like you said, how to versatilely use these ingredients, and yeah, adjust them with the season and just learning different preparation, absolutely. And the same with grains. In the winter we do more hot dishes with the grains, and in the summer we're doing a lot more salads and that kind of thing. So I try to keep it very relevant for that time of year. We've done a couple of holiday type things in the winter time. In our December class, we always do an appetizer theme because people really struggle at parties. So we do a lot of bean-based dips, more fruit and vegetable-based type appetizers, and really fruit-based desserts. I find people really struggle with desserts. So we don't really do a lot of baking, but we try to do a lot more fruit-based desserts. We do poached pears, and we've done apple crisp or different berry type crisp. So we try to incorporate that more in the desserts. I find that's an area that people really have a hard time with.
And one more serving of fruit in the day.
Absolutely. Can never get enough.
Excellent. Wow. And variety. Every time they come here, it's something different.
Yes. Yeah, I really try to use different grains. We're not using quinoa 3 months in a row. I always am keeping track of kind of the different grains that we use and make sure that we're not having a lot of repetition too much. So it is fresh and different for each class.
Thanks so much for this time today, Sue.
I'm so glad you came up. I really appreciate it.
Wow, it was good to be here. And thank you for joining us for Smart Bites. Please come back again.